Hey friends, welcome back to the Layli Amati podcast. Today we are joined by the lovely Dawn Richardson. She has been on this show approximately 1,000,000 times. Not an exaggeration. It's the exact number. But she has in the past been on here as representing her own company, Tech Savvy Creative. Today, plot twist, we are having her on representing Flowdesk. She is Flowdesk's product education manager. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Amazing. And in that role, she's going to help us with 5 things we can be doing now to prepare for Black Friday. Don't panic if you're listening to this when it goes live in September. I know that it can feel overwhelming. I let Black Friday sneak up on me every year, and every year I'm like, why did I not prepare? So I'm very excited selfishly to get a head start and to get Dawn's expert advice on how to make sure that we're prepping and getting ready for a really successful launch, because honestly, Black Friday people are primed to buy, so let's do it. So Dawn, hello, welcome. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, my friend?
I'm great. I'm so excited to talk about this. First of all, tell us a little bit about what you do at Flowdesk, and then we can dive into the rest.
Yeah. So like you said, I've been on here 1,000,000 times, but I think it's every time I've been representing my own company, which is Tech Savvy Creative, but I'm a tech educator. I help people learn how to use technology in their businesses to make their life easier. And an opportunity came up almost 2 years ago now, and Flowdesk asked if I would do that for them. And so I have been part of the Flowdesk team since early 2024. And at Flowdesk, I speak on podcasts, I speak on stages, I create their educational tutorials and content and host webinars on their platform. I'm also what I like to call a liaison for our members. I use Flowdesk myself. I have since the day that they launched. And thanks to my email marketing strategies, have made multiple 6 figures thanks to email. So I'm here to tell you how I did that. But what I'm able to do in the role as well is take my community at Tech Savvy and translate what they are asking for to Flowdesk. And that helps just build a better product that helps our small business community. And that's really what it's all about. So I truly have a unicorn job. I love what I do, and I love the people I work with even more. It's amazing.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, yeah, we love Flowdesk here. Everybody knows it. Flowdesk has been such a huge supporter of the conference, of myself. And similarly to Dawn, I've been a day one user and can't complain. Obsessed. It's the best. Honestly, I am 100% biased, but even if I was not looking at it which I've done several times for my clients where we do a side-by-side comparison, I'm obsessed. This was, by the way, not sponsored. I just want everyone to know this is a completely unsponsored episode. It may feel sponsored because that's how much I love it, but it is not. But they did not pay to be here. I just want them to help us. So that being said, Dawn, tell us, let's start off with number 1. What do we need to be doing right now?
So when we talk about our email strategy, and also, spoiler alert, this is relevant to everybody who uses email. It's not just Flowdesk users. So regardless if you're on another platform or not, please listen in, because this advice will help you regardless of what platform you're using. But one thing that's a really hot topic in the email world right now is something called email deliverability. And is my email going to the spam folder, or is it landing in the inbox, or is it making it anywhere at all? And what we are watching constantly, we send billions of emails out of the Flowdesk platform every year, and we are able to see deliverability. What we're able to see, can't see fully transparently. Google, Yahoo, all of those platforms don't give us full transparency, but we are able to see trends, and we're able to see things change and evolve, because like Instagram, Google, Yahoo, iCloud all have their own algorithms that determines where you land, or if you land at all in the inbox. And I want to take a step back here for a second, because a lot of people get really upset about this, and they go oh, why is Google blocking my small business? And they get really defensive, no, Google's not for small business. And that's not necessarily the case here. I want you to take a minute and stand in their shoes and remember that they are in the business of protecting their users. And we are in a very unique world right now where there are so many spammers out there, people that are pretending to be PayPal. They're pretending to be your bank. They're telling you that there's something malicious going on in your life and you need to sign in here. There are so many of those really scary things happening that their focus is to not let those people end up in the inbox, right? They don't want to show you those awful emails. And in that process, we as small business owners get caught in those traps sometimes. And something that might have worked for you in the past, like years ago, might not work anymore. So just keep that in mind. Just because something used to work for you a couple Black Fridays ago, it might not be the same. So that's where I'm coming from this whole conversation. I want to make sure that we talk about those things. So let's talk about the first and foremost thing that you should be doing when it comes to your email marketing. And that is sending from what's called an authenticated domain. Okay. The very first thing that these inbox providers look at is, are you using a free email address? Are you sending from at Gmail, at Yahoo, at iCloud, whatever? Because guess what? All of those bad guys are typically using those types of emails because they're free. It doesn't cost them any money to do that, right? So if you're a business, if you're using email marketing for your business, it's really important to create a custom domain email that ends in your domain name. So for me at Tech Savvy Creative, it's hello@techsavvycreative.com. That's a custom domain email. So not only am I using that custom domain email, but because I have that custom domain email, I can authenticate it. Now, this is where it gets a little technical. There's weird words like SPF records and DKIM and things like that, but there's a lot of tutorials out there to show you exactly how to do this. But you want to authenticate with these records, and that gives Google, Yahoo, iCloud, all of the inbox providers the green light that you are legitimate and you are who you say you are. That is the very first thing that you need to do to be taken seriously by these inbox providers. So if you are somebody who is not sending from a custom domain, now is the time to work on that, because there's other steps that we're going to talk about here that need to be done, and you need to have a little bit of time before you just start sending Black Friday emails to do that.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. I mean, honestly, I think most of the people listening, and if you're not one of these people, let me encourage you, this is the time. I think everybody listening to, like, in our audience, for the most part, being educators, being leaders, like, they have the custom domain, but I think a lot of them, even if they do have the custom domain, get overwhelmed. I know that when that first happened and everybody had to authenticate and everybody was panicking, myself included, because I'm not techie, or I feel overwhelmed really easily by like the acronyms and things like that. But y'all just follow the tutorial. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And I did it without you, which was crazy.
You did.
Normally Dawn is my go-to text. So.
I'm pretty sure you texted me and you're like, I'm about to do this. Yeah. Like, be on standby, and then you didn't need me.
I just did it. So you can do it. Great. Go do that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, perfect. So that's the first step here. We have to get that done. We want to get it done now so we can set ourselves up for success. Okay. If you need a custom domain provider, I use Google Workspace. I believe you use Google Workspace too. It's just easy. Gives you Google Docs, all the fun things. So check that out. The next thing you want to do if you have an email list is clean it. Okay. Here's the thing with email marketing. Having more subscribers is not better than having high quality subscribers.
Yeah.
Quality is far more important than quantity. And we get very protective over our subscriber list. Like, we are so proud of how many subscribers we have and all of our customers and all of these things, but it's truly a vanity metric at this point. And this is something I really want to hone in on, because we are seeing a significant change in these deliverability algorithms with people sending to unengaged subscribers. Okay. Yeah. Don't treat your email marketing platform like that ex you can't get over. Like, if they're not responding, stop emailing them. Okay. If they are not opening your emails, it does nothing for you to continue to send to them. Go into your email list, get rid of the subscribers who are not opening your emails. Okay. So think of it this way. So let's say you have 1,000 subscribers. Okay. And let's say only, 100 of them open your emails. Okay. That's like a 10% open rate. You're going to send that email. Google sees that only 10% of people actually wanted your email and engaged with it. So if only 10% of people want your email, then they're probably not going to want the next one. It's
Mm.
probably spam, right? You kind of follow here?
Mhm.
But if I send only to those 100 people, well, Google sees that I sent to 100 people and 100 people opened it. Like everybody wanted my email. So I'm starting to create a rapport with Google, with Yahoo, that like, oh, people actually want these emails. So when I do send it, they're much more likely to put me in the inbox
Yeah.
versus the spam folder. And in some cases, if you do this so often where you're sending to people who don't want your emails, eventually these platforms can block you altogether. So if you've ever had a situation where it's not in spam, it's not anywhere, it's very possible that the content was completely rejected.
That's
So
terrifying.
it is. And this is, again, like we saw it like this spring, a significant shift, especially on the Google side
Yeah.
of Google prioritizing this piece. As people continued to send to unengaged subscribers, it significantly damaged what's called their sender reputation. So
Mm.
we recommend every quarter go in and get rid of those unengaged subscribers. Delete them, unsubscribe them, move them to a segment that you exclude when you send things.
Mm.
Whatever you want to do, that's fine. But also, this is really important for my Flowdesk users out there. And I get this, like, there's kind of like this whole like, well, why are Flowdesk people having a problem with this? Well, we don't charge per subscriber. So
Yeah.
people are much likely to hoard their subscribers.
Yeah.
And because there's no reason to get rid of them. Like they're
Right.
not paying for them. But if I'm on another platform, if I have 1,000 people that are not opening my emails, why am I paying for them to be there? Like I'm
Mhm.
much more likely to get rid of them, right? So that's something that I just have to encourage Flowdesk users a lot more, because there's not really a financial incentive from like a subscription standpoint to do this. So if you're a Flowdesk user out there, make sure you go in there and get them cleaned up. Delete them or move them to a cold segment. Just
Mhm.
stop emailing them and you will see your results and your sender reputation improve for sure.
I love the idea of moving them to a segment instead of like, for somebody like me, I have like this fear of like ending it. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to make it permanent that I delete somebody. Like, what if they really want to be there, but they haven't opened anything for a while, because I'm probably too sensitive to my audience. But I like the idea of moving them to a segment that's like a cold segment, or just that like filter out. And I was going to ask how often you do that. I like the idea of doing it quarterly. You talk about Google kind of going through and deciding like what's a good rate, what is a good open rate? Like what should
Oh,
people be
good
aiming
question.
for?
Yeah. So industry average is about 20-25%.
Oh,
Okay.
mine's more than that.
I
Sorry.
know.
What?
I know. A lot of like there's a lot of us like it's not like a grading scale. Like
Yeah.
90% is not an A here,
But I'm
okay?
going to pretend that it is because I got it.
Yeah. So, see, it's great. So, like when I am doing things, and we'll talk a little bit about this when we talk about the next topic, but when I am sending things or trying to re engage my cold subscribers, if it goes below that 20% threshold, I stop. Because at
Okay.
that point in time, I'm like, okay, we're below average. Like, I'm just going to hurt myself if I continue to send it. But that
Mhm.
average industry rate is anywhere between 20 to 25%. For me personally, in my own Flowdesk account, I have about a 65. And we see that across a lot of our users, especially those that are constantly using these best practices. You're
Yeah.
going to see open rates far beyond that 20%.
Yeah. I will say too, something that I've started implementing, like, I don't know, this is not my area of expertise, you guys, but like, maybe you can back me up if it's a good idea or not. But ever since Flowdesk released the click actions, I do like implement very much like if this topic doesn't interest you, click here, and then I let it
Yes.
segment itself more and more and more. And so I am sending to a much smaller group, I've noticed, and we're getting ready for a launch, which by the time this goes live, I will have already launched my speaker course. But like we're very much being intentional about putting that into every email, like opt out of it, opt out of this,
Yes.
opt out of this launch. Like, and I think that's been really helpful for me.
That is so good. And that's like another thing I'm going to talk about here is segmentation.
Perfect.
And like even to the point we talked about the cold subscribers, like, well,
Yeah.
maybe you send a list to the cold subscribers.
Yeah.
If they do click on a link, you can also remove them from the cold subscriber list, because at
Love
that
that.
point they're engaging, right? Things like that. But those targeted emails are key. And remember, because Google is seeing how, like, what percentage of people are interacting and opening with your email, if we're sending it to that targeted audience, like we're much more likely to get better results, and I'm much more likely to show up in the inbox across the board. But if I'm sending it to people who don't want my email and Google sees that, even the people who actually do want my email might not see it because
Right.
the majority of people didn't. So I lose very valuable people in that process. So again, sending to that targeted audience that you're talking about is key. And we'll talk about segmentation here shortly.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. Let's talk about the next number 3.
Yeah.
I love
Number
this.
3,
Yeah.
let's talk about it. So this one is the one that's not so fun. And this is the big reason why I am here in September and not November. Because if we're talking about this in November, it's too late.
Yeah.
And it's a concept called warming your domain. Okay. So if you are somebody who has just authenticated your domain, or you moved platforms, or maybe you're like me and haven't emailed your list in a while.
Like all of us
We've
have
all-
done. All of
We've
us
all
have
been
done that.
there.
Yeah.
We've all been there. You want to do something called warming your domain. These inbox providers do not love surprises. Okay. So if you are radio silent for a year and Black Friday week comes around and you blast your whole email list, you have just earned yourself a one-way ticket to the spam folder. Okay. Keep that in mind. Do not blast your list after not talking to them for a while. This also applies if you want to like ramp up. So if you have a launch coming. So like Laylee, I know you in the last few months have been like sending out your newsletter more often. Your newsletter is beautiful. I love your newsletter, by the way.
Shout out Sarah Ann Design for the
So
custom
pretty.
Flowdesk templates that she sometimes offers. You can try.
She made them for me too, guys. 10 out of 10 recommend.
With every penny.
They're amazing. So, but you've been sending that email more and more. You're warming your audience. You're showing Google that you're trustworthy. You're building that rapport. That's warming your domain. So as you go into a season of launch, like you're not going from crickets to this huge launch. Like we want to make sure that we're gradually increasing our volume over time. But if you turn around and like you haven't sent maybe you sent one email last quarter and then you blast with a 5-day series for your launch, like you're going to be in trouble and it's going to be not great for those inbox providers. So warming your domain, how do we do this? What you want to do is you want to take your most engaged subscribers first. So we're going to use our Flowdesk analytics. You're going to use our filters to figure out who opens most of your emails, like who has 100% open rate, okay? Who are your biggest fans on your list? We want to take about 50 of them and we want to put them into their own segment. And then we send an email to just them. Okay. Well, guess what? They're your biggest fans. So they're probably all going to open that email. So that email is going to have 100% open rate, right? 90% open rate. Then a couple days later, I'm going to send it to my next 150 subscribers. Okay. They're still my top subscribers, so I'm going to still have great open rates. And then I'm going to send it to 300, and then I'm going to send it to 700, and then I'm going to send it to like 1,200. Do you see how I'm growing my list here? I'm slowly teaching Google that I'm trustworthy, and I'm starting with the best of the best because like, hey, these people are going to open. Google's like, oh my gosh, everybody wants this email. So they continue to prioritize me. Oh my gosh, she's so popular. I like, have to show her. So you're building that trust, right? And then you're working your way up to your big number, right? And a little bit of transparent context. I did this for the Flowdesk account. Okay. We're talking hundreds and hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Okay. I think it was like 600,000, 700,000 at the time when I did it.
Casual.
We moved it to a new domain. Whew. So this was like a 6-week process for me because we literally started at 50 people. Okay. And we started by sending it to all employees and their spouses. And it was like, open this email right now. Like it was like that's how we started it, right? It was like with our most engaged, like people that we knew we could get to open it. So we started building that trust. And I went from 50 subscribers all the way up. By the time we were done 6 weeks later, we were seeing 70, 80% open rates on these huge sends.
That's massive.
It's huge. And this is like, we get people all the time that are like, oh, like I am not having success with email marketing. My open rates are low. And I would tell you 95% of the time when I go look in their account, they are just sending to people that are not engaging with their account. And that is just becoming such an important piece here. Like not only do you have to get rid of those people that are not serving you anymore, but then you want to like warm yourself and build that rapport back up with Google and Yahoo and all these platforms. And when you have that rapport, stay consistent. Keep sending, okay? Our rule of thumb, domains start to go cold after about 4 to 6 weeks. Bare minimum, try to send a monthly email, Okay.
Okay.
And that's going to
That
keep,
was my next question.
yeah, that's my bare minimum. Like, hey, creatives out there, can you write 12 emails a year? I know you
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
And that's not including like your like workflow, your automations, things like that. Like,
Mhm.
can you send a monthly newsletter? Can you send a monthly tech tip or a monthly update? Like, is that something that you can commit to? Because that will help you stay warm and consistent. And those platforms really like that. So that's something that in the new year definitely challenge you. And if you want to have a Black Friday sale, now is the time to start warming your domain so it's ready to go for you by Black Friday.
Okay, so when do you think everybody needs to, like, should I be doing that?
It's not going to hurt you.
Okay.
So like if you like I have like a little flow chart that I share when I give webinars on deliverability, and it's like almost always points to yes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's like, is it a new domain? Are you moving to a new platform? Are your open rates where you want them to be? And if the answer is no, then yes, go warm it. Or if you haven't emailed in a while, go warm it. You're just
Okay.
building that trust. It's not going to hurt you in any way. This is also something that I would recommend doing if you do want to do some kind of cold subscriber outreach. Make sure you do this first, right? You want to make sure that you build the trust first. Otherwise, you're just going to tank yourself. And this is also where, like here at Flowdesk, when we do what's called a re-engagement campaign, we're sending to our colder subscribers. We send them in small batches and we watch them. And if we hit a point where it goes below that threshold where we don't like it anymore, we just stop sending. Because to us, sending to those unengaged subscribers can hurt us more than not sending it at all, right? So we don't want to damage our reputation with these platforms, and we want to make sure the people who want our emails continue to get them. So once they hit that threshold, we just stop sending so we don't further damage anything.
So like during a launch, and you might answer this later, but just bear with me. During a launch, if you're tracking your analytics, which I do feel as our listeners, unsolicited coach right now, or I guess if you're listening, you solicited it. But like as a coach, I would tell everybody track your analytics during launch, but so many people don't, because I think obviously launching is very emotional for a lot of people. If you don't have a team and you're a solopreneur, you don't have like an integrator, an OBM, a VA, somebody tracking it for you, maybe like you don't want to touch it, but you should be. Anyway, all that being said, if you are tracking your analytics, at what point do you look at your emails and say, I need to redo this? Like, it's Black Friday week. I've got an email a day. I've got 3 on the last day. Like, but today I saw that my open rate was 10%. What do I do?
Right. So obviously you want to give it a little time, right?
Okay.
And we also have to remember like Black Friday fatigue is like a real thing. Like
it's crazy.
And like the amount of emails that are sent on Black Friday are just bananas.
Insane.
So please, like also on that same note, like don't use Black Friday as like your benchmark of like success. Just because like all the platforms are doing weird things, the filters change. Like I can't say that for sure,
people
but
go crazy.
See it across the board. And honestly, for me, I just turn off my notifications come Black Friday, and like I'll
okay. So maybe like maybe like not Black Friday specific.
Okay, like general.
Let's talk like regular launch.
Yeah, I think when you are sending to your engaged subscribers, you kind of get a vibe of like how quickly people, like for me, it's about 24 hours when I start to like really look at it. But I'm also that person that will send it and then look at it 3 minutes later and be like, okay, how many people already opened it? Like,
I'm literally the opposite. I'm like, let me send it and never look at it again. I'm the same way on Instagram. People are like, oh, how did that post perform? I'm like, ask somebody on my team. It's not going to be me.
Yeah. You're like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. But also that set it and forget it mentality can hurt you if you want to stop something, right? So like, don't do that. Don't do that. I feel like if you're sending to an engaged audience, I would feel a lot more confident about setting and forgetting in that situation. But if you're sending to cold audiences is like where I really care about watching it, because those cold subscribers can hurt me.
Okay.
But typically it's pretty obvious, because like once these platforms ding you and your sender reputation is like impacted, which you can follow, by the way. So Google has a free tool called Google Postmaster. They don't necessarily expose that information to us as a platform, but you can get a free Google Postmaster account and they will tell you what your sender reputation is over time. It's not instant. It does take normally like 3 to 5 days for it to update. But for example, like your spam complaints, when people mark you as spam, like that's not something that they tell us. So
Yeah.
if you want to see that, we have to go into Google Postmaster and we have to see how many people on the Google side have marked us as spam.
I
And
didn't
they
know I
have
could
very
do that.
limited thresholds there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So,
I need to go get, okay.
oh, go get that. Go get it started. So add that to the list. Here's number 6, guys. Like, go set up your Google Postmaster account so it can start tracking your sends. And like, I can see, like, we see it at Flowdesk too, is like, if I send a really cold list, a engagement campaign, that sender reputation normally drops to a medium pretty quickly.
Wow.
So when you're sending these, you're looking at your analytics, which was your original question. A lot of times when you do get dinged, you notice it pretty quickly. Like you went from like a 50, 60% to a 10%. Like, and it's pretty obvious, like, oh, something happened. And it could be a lot of different things, but typically it's something like I'm sending to a cold audience and Google got fed up with me. Or maybe I sent a really bad link inside of it, which is also a possibility. But things to keep in mind as you do that. Take a look at them, make it a habit to check and just see how things are doing. For me, I normally come back in the 24 to 48 hour mark just to see how things are going.
Okay. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Love it. Love that. All right. Number 4. Are we on number
4? Yeah, we are number 4. Good track. So this one's my personal favorite, and we already kind of talked about it, but it's segment your audience. Mm-hmm. So if you're warming your domain, a lot of people ask, like, what email do I send? Well, you want to send them something they want, right? So maybe send them an extra freebie, maybe one you haven't launched yet. Like, be the first to get this freebie. Like, my VIPs get it, you know, see who's engaging with it, see who's downloading it. I did a re-engagement campaign recently, and I asked a question. I said, hey, what do you want to learn about next year? Mm-hmm. And I had these different buttons, and it was like email marketing. I want tech tutorials. I want information about AI. I want all these different things. And based off of what they clicked, I segment them into an audience. They're interested in tutorials. They're interested in Apple products. They're interested in email marketing. Whatever that is, I use that warming email to my advantage to collect information from my subscribers. So start segmenting your audience. If you use Interact, we love Interact. That's what our quizzes are through. Interact and Flowdesk have a direct integration where I've actually added questions to my quiz that just ask them questions about what they do so I can segment them in Flowdesk. Like, I can segment them based off of questions and their results so I get information about who they are. Because if I'm going to a photography conference and I want to invite people to a photography conference, guess what? I should only send that to photographers. I shouldn't send that to web designers. Same with your conference, Laylee. When I sent an email about like, hey, I'm going to the Creative Educator Conference this year. Who's joining me? I have a segment of people that I know are educators. And they are so much more likely to engage in that email because it's targeted to them. Mm-hmm. When people feel like they're being seen and heard, that's what makes our content so valuable. Same with what you're selling. One of the worst things that you can do is try to sell people a product that they've already bought. So much for feeling like you're not being seen or heard, right? Like, oh, thanks for this sale notification on this thing that I paid full price for. Like, love that for me. Unsubscribe, right? Like, that's not what we want to do. So we want to segment our audience. What have they purchased? What are they interested in? What are they clicking in my emails? What downloads have they opted into? What do they do for a living? Like, all of these different things, start that segmentation process. This takes a while, especially if you haven't done it in the past, but start now. You can do that manually if you want to, or use these integrations to help do that for you. And for context, I have 130 segments. So take advantage of it. It's not something you have like 5 of, and it builds out over time. But then come Black Friday, you have targeted audiences that you can send content to that's relevant to them. If you have a photography product, send it to your photographers. If you have a product about educators, send it to your educators. And then, build out your strategy from there. And when you show up in an authentic way that gets people valuable content that's targeted to them, you're going to be far more successful.
I just looked and I have 61.
Yay!
That's so many more than I thought I had.
Really? Yeah, no, a lot of people are like, how many should I have? Like 3? I'm like, okay. Like,
but it makes sense, especially for those, like I think about like every speaking engagement that has a specific segment. Every freebie has a segment. Every opt-in has everything I do has a segment. So I guess it makes sense.
Yes. And it will evolve over time. So this is one of those things people get a little bit of like they feel paralyzed because they're like, oh, I have to find all my segments right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
No, it will evolve over time. As you go to a new event, you're going to have
Yeah.
that. And we're going to talk about that on your launch. Yeah. So we're going to talk about that later, but like collecting leads from the stage and how we do that, how we segment them.
Yeah.
But that's something that will grow and evolve over time. And you might group people together that are in multiple segments. Like, oh, I went to this photography conference and this photography conference. I can assume everybody in there is a photographer. Like you can kind of build out those segments as well. So
Yeah.
continue that strategy, put it in your forms, put it everywhere you can, and it will only benefit you.
Love that. Oh,
Yeah.
amazing. Okay. Last but not least,
Number
5.
schedule yourself, guys. We're busy. This is a simple one. Okay. Now, don't set it and forget it, like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
But make a plan and don't do it the week of Black Friday.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, guys, that's a holiday week for like a lot of us. Like, yeah, if it is the Monday before Black Friday and you're thinking about what to do for Black Friday, it's too late. Okay.
Yeah.
So we want to start thinking about this now. Schedule these emails leading up to Black Friday. You want to warm your audience. You want to nurture your audience. You want to build consistency so you're not surprising these platforms.
Yeah.
Get this stuff scheduled. Get those workflows built. When it comes to Flowdesk, a lot of people ask, like, should I build a workflow or should I just schedule emails? For sales, schedule emails. Don't try to build a workflow because workflows are really great for people when they enter at different points in time. But when you're doing like a Black Friday sale, it's typically like one day left. The sale is live, things like that. Just simply schedule those emails and anybody who falls into that segment will get that email at that time. Keep it simple. Monitor if you are sending to a cold audience. Make sure you're watching it so you can cancel future ones if you need to. But be strategic and then take a deep breath, enjoy your week, and relax. And I'm a big believer in data over drama. Whatever happens this year is nothing but something that you can use to learn and adapt next year. So give yourself a time to like sit down, have a quick retrospective, the first week of December. How did that go? What did not go well? What people clicked on? Who engaged with my audience? Write that down now. So when Black Friday comes next year, you have a plan and you have ways that you can iterate on it and be more successful.
I love that so much. Obviously, I do because I'm somebody that used to really beat myself up over like every launch. And now I'm like, okay, this is just data. I love it. And I really like the idea of, I know you said it was a simple one, but I love that you end on that because I feel like the thought of spending your Thanksgiving break or, that week off with your family working on this is like the world's worst idea.
Right.
So use all the tools that you have at your fingertips. Schedule your emails. I know we're here talking about email, but schedule your socials, schedule everything, and don't worry about it while you're with your family. Like do stuff ahead so that you can enjoy your life.
Yes. And if you wait to the last minute, something always comes up. Like it never fails, like I do that all the time where I'm like, oh, I can just do this like next week. And then next week comes and like all of a sudden like, oh, something came up. Like my daughter is sick or I'm sick or something is happening. And like, I should have done it when I had the chance. So take advantage of that, get it out there so you can like, we work so hard with our marketing, whether it's social or email or whatever, like we have to get it out there. Just get it scheduled and get it done and then learn from it and then see what you can do next year.
I mean, and here's the thing, like about Black Friday as just a tangent, like it is 100% worth it because you will make 0% sales if you don't do it. So like there's no
So what's the worst that can happen? You make 0% sales.
Yeah. Just talk to the people that are subscribed, that are waiting to hear from you. Your email communities typically love you. There's a reason. We all protect our inboxes. So if I'm on your list, I generally want to be.
Yes. Oh, I want you on my list too. I love your emails. They're so pretty.
Oh, thank you so much. I've had a lot of fun with my newsletter, which is like very weird for me, but it's fun because I made it more personal and like I just feel like I'm talking to my friends versus like selling all the time. And I think it's such a win-win because I enjoy it and my newsletter family enjoys it. And then it feels like I'm not just showing up when I want to sell, which makes me feel weird. Like I think it's like I'm serving as much as I can. And even when I'm selling, I'm still serving. So
absolutely.
It's great.
I mean, to me, it's like the difference between standing on a stage in a big auditorium versus like sitting down one-on-one with somebody and like deep diving into their business. Like that's literally what it is. It's both of them are valuable. Both of them have their place in your strategy. However, like one is far more intimate and relationship building than the other. Right. And like your email is that coffee shop conversation. It's that deep conversation, what I'm up to. Like my favorite section on your newsletter is like what I'm reading and like what I'm listening to. Like I love that. Like it's so fun.
It's mine too. It's my favorite too.
I'm like, what is she reading this week? Not that I don't follow you everywhere else. So, but you know, like it's that like intimate conversation where that relationship building and you're just building those relationship. And that's why email is so powerful. Like we can't on social say like only show this to cat owners. But in email, you can. Like you can really target that audience. You know, you only send it to educators. Can't make your Instagram post only do that. Like it's just that way to take that hello, nice to meet you into a really deep conversation. And that's how we build trust and we build rapport in our brands. And a lot of us have very personality driven brands. So that type of relationship is so important, especially if we want people to invest in us and what we do. So don't sleep on email marketing. It is important. Laylee has a link to get you started on Flowdesk if you aren't already, but check it out and you get 50% off of your first year if you decide to sign up.
Yeah, y'all sign up. My code is Laylee. It's super easy. No, but really, I will link everything in the show notes. I do have an affiliate code and it does get you a discount. So check it out if you want to. This episode was so helpful for so many reasons. And I just wanted to let everybody know, Dawn alluded to this, but if you're a speaker and you're not utilizing your email to funnel people into sales after a speaking engagement, go check out my course. Dawn is doing a guest unit on it and she's doing an incredible job of like mapping out how to get paid even when it's unpaid. So you can find that at layleemadi.com/SaaS, SASS. That's the acronym for the sought after speaker system, which I think is adorable.
That's so cute.
I'm just saying. So yeah, layleemadi.com/SaaS. And Dawn is an amazing guest speaker for that course. And we will again link all of that in the show notes as well as a link to check out Flowdesk. Thank you so much, Dawn. This was so helpful. You are amazing.
Thank you for having me for the millionth and one time. I'm here anytime you need me.
We'll hit 2 million at one point. Yeah. You're not going anywhere.
Oh no, you're stuck with me forever.
I love it. All right, y'all. We will see you next week on the next episode of the Laylee Emadi podcast. Thanks for tuning in to the Laylee Emadi podcast. If you found value in today's episode, it would mean the world if you would leave a review or share it with a friend who's on their journey to becoming an industry educator or speaker. Want more support as you grow? Head to layleemadi.com for free resources and more information on how we can work together. Until next time, keep showing up, keep sharing your voice, and keep leading with purpose.